Finding Zeey. This is not Sit and Talk with Zeey. This is a fresh and new segment on my channel, which is called Diaries with Zeey. So, on this specific segment, I'm going to talk about personal things. It's either a story time or it's a venting session or whatever, but it's going to be everything personal. It's only about me on this specific segment. So on today's episode, which is the first and official okay, so the conversion is finally over. My housemates were going for a church practice. I don't know, but they had to go, so now they're gone. So I was about to say that on this specific episode, well, the first official episode, I am going to talk about dating. I know that I'm always talking about Ujolo, but today it's going to be different. Trust the process. Okay, so I meet a lot of people who ask me, why are you not dating? You know, you're a nice person, you are cute, you know, you're pretty. Why are you not seeing anybody? There's something wrong with you? Are you crazy? Or something like that. And the closest person to me, or the closest people to me, know this because I always share it with them. But for people who don't know, obviously most of the people on this channel might not know this, so I'm sharing it with you guys. So I am a Christian, born again or saved to be specific, and for me it is important for me to date somebody who shares the same values as me and who also believes in the same things as me. And this is one of the challenges that I meet every time when I meet someone new, the challenges that I come across. So I sometimes meet people who are traditional, you know, or who believe in African spirituality. And I grew up in a home whereby we did not practice anything traditional or African spirituality. We have never consulted with traditional healers or anything like that. We've always been go to church, come back, go to church, come back, you know. And it has always been, I think that is happening in my home, in my mom's house. And yeah, I was just following it because I mean, we're doing it at home. If you don't go to church, where are you going to go? You mean on Sunday? So for some while, it was my reality. And then I think when I got to university, I left that life. And I think in second year or third, I think it was in second year, towards the end, I was like, let me try this life for myself, you know? And I did. And I can't say I fell in love with it. I just think I grew closer to God and loving like being in that space and inheriting that life for myself. So how is this linked to relationships? So every time when I meet somebody, we always clash when it comes to, because now guys I like to know, how would you like to raise your kids when you start talking to me? Like, how are things at your home? What do you believe in? Which church do you go to? And how do you view God? And all of that, you know? And for most people, it's boring. They're always like, no, we will cross the bridge when we get there. We'll talk about that later. Let's just enjoy ourselves, you know? Let's just have fun, you know? And thing is, relationships or mjolo, already on its own, like the idea of dating, like it's a tough spot on its own, like it's a very extreme sport. And now it becomes even more harder, or even more hard when it has beliefs in it, you know, because I don't believe in dating for fun. I'm sorry, I don't believe in dating for fun, and I can't walk with somebody unless we agree on something. Let's say we do like have fun, or we just date for vibes, and then I find myself pregnant. What's gonna happen to that baby? How is it gonna be raised? how is it going to be taken care of, like how is the upbringing looking like, you know. And people are always like, oh, you're so serious, you're boring, you know. And that's how I never get to a relationship, because in the first 2 days, 3 days when you're talking to somebody, you can already see what the future looks like. Not the full picture, but you already have the glimpse of what might happen between you and that person. And honestly, in the first 2 or 3 days, you already know if you want to stay or not. And that's why it's, you know, it's tricky. And maybe somebody might be like, oh, Christians like to act better than other people. Like, it's always like your beliefs are better than other people's beliefs. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I groove, if I go to groove every weekend, if I love going out, you know, having drinks with friends almost every weekend, and then I date somebody who stays in the house all the time, I'm gonna get bored. No? If I don't know how to make other examples. I'm running out of examples. But I am a housebody, to be specific. I stay in the house majority of the time. Like, I just go to campus and then I come back. Like, I hardly do anything apart from the activities that I'm doing on campus or school. Like, I'm hardly out there. If I date somebody who's always like, okay, this weekend we are going to, next weekend we're going to, first of all, like in a chile. First of all, I don't have money. Second of all, I don't like going out. Maybe I don't like going out because I don't have money, but I don't know, because I've never had money to experience that, you know. So right now, everybody, any person who is not in between at the bubble that I'm in or somewhere close is going to freak my world, you know. So what I'm saying is, if I am a traditional person, it's going to be hard for me to explain to the person all the time that, okay, so at home, at home, like when a person is being introduced to a family, we have to do this, there's a ritual, there's this and this and that we have to do. It's going to be difficult for the next person to understand, because it's not their life, it's not what they are used to. So my chat is, it's harder for me to date because I've never had somebody who has similar interests to me, because I can't explain fully to a person why sometimes we take 21 days without watching television. Somebody's going to be like, what? How? You know? Like, they're not going to understand. Like, sometimes we fast during the day and maybe we eat in the afternoon. Sometimes there's a lot of things that we do, like in church. It's going to be hard for that next person to understand them, you know. So I'm not saying I want a person specifically in my church, but I want somebody who has similar like interests, somebody who's going to understand the importance of doing certain things. So relationships, even friendships, they are hard when you want to try them with somebody who doesn't understand where you're coming from with certain things, you know. So yeah, I think I've exhausted like the topic enough. I don't know if there's anything that I should add. Also, conflict. One thing that I don't like about having people who don't believe in the same things as me in like around me, it's conflict, because every time when I'm trying to explain my viewpoint, it's like I'm trying to criticize what you believe in. And every time when you explain what you believe in, you feel like I'll feel like, oh, you're criticizing me, you know, because we are not seeing the world in the same eye, you know. I'm not saying the other eye is better than the other, but what I'm saying is, if you and I are seeing things in the same way or in similar ways, then it's much easier. Like, I hate conflict. I hate conflict so much, and it's even worse when we have conflict or if we're having differences about things that we grew up believing in. Like, there's no way somebody is going to convince me that God doesn't exist, because I've lived in a family whereby God was a thing. Like, it was, you know, it was a big part of our lives, a big part of my mom's life, you know, a center of my mom's life. So, and there's no way I can convince you otherwise with your beliefs, because that's what you grew up around, that's what you have grown to understand as you're growing up, you know. So my advice to you from Zeey's Diaries, never date or befriend somebody who doesn't necessarily see things in the same way, to avoid conflict. If you're like me, avoid explaining simple things, like, because for me it's like there's God, and that's that. There's no better way of explaining it. I can't sit in a 2-hour heated debate every day trying to explain to the person that I love or care about why or why there's Jesus and the Holy Spirit and all of that. It's going to be hard. So if you believe in something else, or if you have a different way of living, find people who are closer to that type of a life, so that you don't have difficulties in life, like bophelo bothata, and you do not need to make your life more difficult by engaging with people who do not see the world as you, like not necessarily exactly the same way, but within the same lenses, similar lenses, so that your life is much more easier, guys. So I think that is all for today from me to you on the first episode of Zeey's Diaries. So you guys will tell me if you guys relate, or if you guys would like me to continue. I'm continuing anyways, but just for opening like a space for people to share their views, if we should continue with Diaries with Zeey and just cancel out Sit and Talk with Zeey. Maybe Sit and Talk with Zeey will come back, but I'm thinking of finding somebody that I can like drive with, somebody who will be my co-host, like a podcast type of thing. But we'll see. So yeah, that's it.